Hey, what's this?
Sorry, it's
I was just in there for a couple of minutes.
Sorry, sir, but
I was just in there for a couple of minutes. Look, I can't pay this. Tear this up.
I can't
tear this up.
Sir, I can't.
Put a void on it. Do whatever you have to
Sir,
do.
I can't.
I am
You
not
can
paying this. You hear me? Void it.
I'm sorry.
I'm not paying it. You listen. I am not paying this. I don't know who the hell you think you are. I am not paying this. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not paying this.
Violence in the workplace is an unfortunate reality for many Canadians. A survey conducted by the Canadian Initiative on Workplace Violence found that 64% of respondents thought aggression in the workplace was on the rise. As the number of incidents continues to grow, employers and employees are looking for solutions to create safe and productive workplaces. Alberta Human Resources and Employment, the Workers' Compensation Board of Alberta, and the Edmonton Police Service created this video presentation to assist organizations in developing their own workplace violence prevention programs. Workplace violence is everybody's business. It can happen anytime, anywhere, to anyone. The International Labour Organization defines workplace violence as any incident in which a person is abused, threatened, or assaulted in circumstances related to work. Included in this definition are abusive statements, threats, assaults, intimidation, coercion, robbery, situations between co-workers, and all forms of harassment. Most workplace violence incidents fall into one of four categories: stranger violence, such as occurs in a robbery; client-customer violence; employee violence; and violence related to personal relationships. Employers have a legal responsibility to protect their employees from all forms of workplace violence.
In Alberta, the Occupational Health and Safety Act states that an employer must take all reasonable measures to protect the health and safety of his or her employees. This obligation is addressed under Section 2 of the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and we commonly refer to that as the General Duty Clause. If I can just give you an example to substantiate what I've said. If an employee is working alone, then an employer must conduct a hazard assessment and must establish a communication or contact system to provide the employee with assistance when it is needed.
The Act also requires employees to work safely and cooperate with their employer by following health and safety rules.
In Alberta, an employer is expected to develop a policy and procedures that cover potential workplace violence. An employer must train their employees in how to recognize, respond to, report, investigate, and document incidents of workplace violence.
Insulting, derogatory, demeaning, racist, or sexist statements directed at a specific person are considered abuse.
Jacob, Mrs. Adams.
Are you stupid or something? How can you give Jacob 8 detentions? It's not his fault the other kid got pushed off the swing. You bloody teachers, why don't you start teaching the kids instead of punishing them all the time? What a bunch of idiots. Now what are you going to do about this?
Mrs. Adams, you're upset, and you're saying things I'm sure you don't mean. We don't allow comments like that around here. I'm going to have to ask you to leave until you can calm down.
Fine, then I'll see the principal. Come on, Jacob.
Abusive statements are commonly used as an intimidation tactic. If a fellow employee or a client makes abusive comments during a telephone conversation or meeting, politely explain that your organization does not tolerate abusive statements. Document the incident immediately afterwards. A direct threat is when a person says he will commit a violent act.
Hey, Mick. What's wrong?
They laid me off.
I knew things were bad, but I had no idea they were that bad.
It's Frank's fault. He never liked me.
Oh, come on, Mike. Frank wouldn't do that. Besides, you're a good worker.
Not good enough for Frank.
Stupid bastard. I'll tell you something. I'm not going to let him get away with this.
Mike, you need to calm down. Just take it easy.
Let go of me. 10 years in the bloody job, and this is what it comes down to? All right. That's the way they want it.
What are you gonna do?
You'll see. It'll be okay. From now on, no one will have to worry about getting laid off again.
A direct threat should be reported immediately to management and police.
Hi, Frank. Yeah, it's Margaret calling. I was just talking with Mike. Yeah, he's pretty upset. Yeah, I think you'd better call the police.
When a person makes a statement that something violent or unspecific may happen, this is considered an indirect threat.
Hey, Tommy, you coming into work tomorrow?
Yeah. Need a ride?
Nah, I was just thinking you might be sick tomorrow.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. But if I was you, I wouldn't be coming in tomorrow.
When a person makes an indirect threat, try to determine how serious they are. Document the conversation and report the incident to management. Intimidation is a statement or action other than a direct or indirect threat that makes you afraid.
Now, what is it you needed to see me about? Teresa said it was urgent?
It's about my last performance review. Oh, look, I was having a bad day, okay? And, well, I just don't think that some of your comments were very fair.
Joe, we've talked about this before. My comments are based on observations I've made over the last 6 months. We've even talked about ways that you could improve your performance.
You don't get it, do you? Look, I'm not asking you for advice. I'm telling you to change your comments.
Joe, relax.
If you don't change your comments, I'm gonna call your husband. I'll tell him about all that extra attention you've been paying to the new guy in shipping.
You're making things up, Joe, and you know it.
Oh, yeah? See what your husband has to say when you get home tonight.
When you find yourself in a threatening situation, get away as quickly and safely as you can. Report the incident immediately. Coercion is a non-violent tactic used by someone to influence your judgment, often for illegal, immoral, or inappropriate purposes.
Sure. Oh, good. Look, Bill, I'm sorry. I can't give you that information. You'll just have to wait for the tender like everyone else. What? Bill, you're being ridiculous. Bill, listen to yourself. And even if it were true, that would be blackmail. Bill, I'm not listening to this anymore. Goodbye.
If you believe someone is trying to coerce you, report it immediately.
Hi. I just wanted to let you know.
Any unwelcome contact is considered harassment. This can include attention or pursuit, sexual advances, or repeated contact that's a nuisance.
Oh. Aren't you going to put these in water? They'll dry out if you don't.
Just put them in the garbage.
Let me guess. Another gift from Gary?
You won't leave me alone. I mean, we only went out on one date, and now I don't know what to do. I'm really scared.
There are a number of ways in which a person can be harassed in the workplace. Phone calls, packages. Emails are becoming more and more common in this new age of technology. In-person contact. At times, even in more extreme situations, employees can be stalked at their workplace as well.
Okay, so tell me what's happened so far.
Maintain a record of all harassing incidents. Include the date, time, and details of what happened. Evidence related to the incident should also be kept. Make management aware of what's going on as soon as you can. In the retail and service industries, employees who handle money and valuables are at risk of being robbed. The longer a robbery takes, the more dangerous the situation becomes. Don't try to be a hero. If a robbery occurs, accommodate the robber's demands to get him to leave as quickly as possible. Once the robber has left, lock all of the doors and call 911. Ask any witnesses to remain in the store until the police arrive. In a situation where an employee works alone, regulations require the employer to conduct a hazard assessment, control the hazards, and establish an effective emergency communication system. Alberta Human Resources and Employment has prepared a handbook called Working Alone Safely to assist employers and employees. Violence between coworkers can escalate quickly and put others in danger if immediate steps aren't taken to stop it.
Did you talk to the boss about my driving?
Yeah, you're all over the road. What's the matter with you?
You shouldn't have said anything. It's none of your business.
The way you drive, I should be calling the cops.
Stupid shit.
If you are concerned about a worker's behavior and think he or she may be considering violent action, talk to a supervisor immediately. Because of the type of job they do, some employees may be at risk of violence from the people they are helping.
Good morning, Mr. Harris. My name is Stacy. I'll be a nurse today. It's time for your medicine.
I don't want it.
Mr. Harris, you know you have to take it.
Shit, I don't want it.
Call security! Code yellow!
Management and employees must work together to develop a comprehensive set of guidelines that take into account the circumstances of their profession. Not all violence in the workplace occurs as a result of something that happened at work. Domestic issues like divorce or custody disputes can also be a threat to safety and productivity.
Who is that guy?
That's Kathy's ex.
I thought she had a restraining order against him.
She does. I don't think she wants to cause a scene.
Kathy? Is everything okay?
Hey, if you know what's good for you, get the hell out of here, okay? I've got some things to discuss with my wife.
Okay, take it easy.
Just get out.
Take it easy.
Get out.
Domestic violence can quite easily spill over into the workplace. People who are having trouble at home or situations at home, a lot of times the people that they're embroiled in the violence with will try to contact them at work in one way or another.
Well, this is the restraining order I have against my ex-husband.
If you are involved with a domestic violence issue, make sure management is aware of any restraining orders or other protective orders that are in effect. People who commit aggressive acts in the workplace often share similar characteristics. They have trouble with personal relationships. They're quick to anger. They're defensive. They're suspicious. They perform poorly at work and blame others for their mistakes. They hold grudges, are paranoid, and they have a fascination with weapons. A person with these characteristics can get frustrated easily. Left unchecked, his frustration can quickly turn to anger and violence. Knowing what workplace violence is and recognizing the warning signs are the first steps in creating a comprehensive workplace violence prevention program. The program will establish a company's method for dealing with abusive employees or customers, as well as what to do in the event an incident occurs. As with any workplace health and safety program, management commitment and employee involvement is important to the development of a workplace violence prevention program. Program components include better screening of new employees, an anti-violence policy, security measures, employee training, a crisis management team, environmental design, reporting and investigation, and a crisis plan. A good place to start is with a worksite hazard assessment. This is a review of past incidents and a detailed analysis of the work being done and of the workplace. Talking to employees about past incidents of workplace violence can assist a company in determining how much risk their employees face. Analyzing the workplace should take into account the physical features of the work environment, the effectiveness of existing safety and security procedures, and finding out if employees know what to do if an incident occurs.
If you don't know what the potential risks are with your business, there's virtually no way that you're going to be able to respond to it if and when something does occur within your business.
The success of any workplace violence prevention program depends on the willingness of employees to report suspicious or unacceptable behavior. For the reporting procedure to work, employees need to know where and how to report a violent incident. Supervisors should take each complaint seriously and deal with it in an appropriate manner. Depending on a company's size and type of business, security passes, surveillance cameras, silent alarm systems, and other security measures may be the most appropriate response for dealing with violence in the workplace.
Alberta Human Resources and Employment has produced a publication that can assist both employers and employees in addressing this issue. This publication is entitled Preventing Violence and Harassment at the Workplace, and it can be obtained through the Workplace Health and Safety Call Center. For employers who have limited experience in this area or who are unsure of what measures they can take, they could seek the advice of a health and safety consultant.
Whether we work with others or by ourselves, we all have the right to do our job safely and without the fear of violence. By understanding what workplace violence is and devising methods for preventing it, employers and employees can create safe, productive workplaces. Workplace violence. It's everybody's business.